take. Commissioner Morrison.
Present.
Commissioner Morrison, just turn on the mic, sorry.
Present.
Great. Welcome, Commissioner Morrison, and I would like to offer you the opportunity to briefly introduce yourself to the public and to your colleagues.
Thank you, Raymond. And apologies, I'm a little under the weather today, but I'm happy to be here and stand on the shoulders of all the work that you all have been doing for almost 2 years. I'm in awe of the commitment, and I have watched a couple of the hearings up to now, and the people who are paying such close attention to this really important issue for our city, which I remember when it happened back in 1999, so it's been a while. I'm pleased to fill this seat for the next 3 weeks or so, and I'm doing what I can to get caught up. And I really do appreciate public comment. I learned a lot from public comment last week as I was listening. So happy to be here and join you all.
And we are really happy that you have joined us and looking forward to working with you. Commissioners, we are going to go to ex parte communications. I'm going to read from the motion. An ex parte communication is a communication between any member of the Los Angeles Charter Reform Commission and any elected city officer or member of any elected city officer staff regarding a matter pending before the commission. An ex parte communication does not include any communication that takes place on the record during an official public meeting. The requirements of this section do not apply to a communication between a commission member and a member of the city attorney's office providing legal counsel. A commissioner shall disclose any ex parte communication at the next commission meeting following the communication. Any off-the-record communications that take place during an official public meeting shall be disclosed before the adjournment of the meeting. Disclosure shall include the time and date of the communication, the form of the communication, the approximate duration of the communication if applicable, the identity of the persons who participated in the communication, and a summary of the content of the communication. The summary shall include a general description of the types of charter reforms communicated. Commission members or commission staff may ask a commission member to resubmit communication disclosures that are not sufficiently detailed. The Charter Reform Commission staff shall maintain a public database on the Charter Reform Commission website where a log of ex parte communications can be found. The Charter staff shall update this log within 72 hours of an ex parte communication disclosure. Failure to comply with the requirements of this section shall subject the commission member to a potential censure by the commission, and the commission may resolve to recommend the appropriate appointing authority initiate removal of the commission member. A violation of this section shall not render any action of the commission or commission member invalid. Commissioners, I'm going to go around the dais and see if there are any ex parte communications to disclose. Commissioner Morrison.
Yes, I don't know if this happened before or after I was sworn in, but I did spend time with the staff of Councilmember Blumenfeld to get acclimated and oriented to this commission, introducing me to where I could find past minutes, reports, upcoming agendas, and just a general discussion of the time frame that we're operating under right now. So I was meeting with Madeline Terrace and Lisa Hansen.
Thank you. Commissioner Mack.
None.
Commissioner Stein.
None.
I have none. Commissioner Sanchez.
None.
Commissioner Murray.
No.
Commissioner Andrades.
No.
Commissioner Levine.
No.
Thank you, commissioners. We now go to public comment. We will have 30 minutes of in-person public comment and then go to 30 minutes of virtual public comment. If there is any time remaining after virtual public comment, we will come back to public comment for in the room for a total amount of time of 1 hour of public comment. I see the staff is getting the list of public comment. Is there anyone who has not signed up on the list that would like to provide public comment? All right, and let me see the list so I can determine the time allotment. All right, we will do a minute and 30 seconds of general and item public comment, and will hand it over to the executive director to administer public comment.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. I'm going to call folks 3 at a time. For public comment, please line up when I call. Time is going to be 1 minute and 30. I won't give a warning. I'll just say thank you, next speaker. Alrighty. The first 3 speakers are going to be John Thomas, Lionel, and last name Vamos. I can't read the first name. Last name Vamos? Okay. Then I can't, you've got as good as handwriting as mine. Thank you, sorry. Good to see you though. John, Lionel. John? Is John here? John? Yes, come on down. Oh, no worries. That's totally fine. If you don't want to give public comment. Okay. Alrighty, 1 second. Let me get my timers ready here. In 2 seconds. Begin.
Lionel Martin as an individual from District 6. I'm here to speak in support of the RewriteLA Civic Assemblies and preamble. The Civic Assemblies in Los Angeles was a fantastic opportunity for community engagement with a diverse group of participants. It was enriching to witness various perspectives coming together to discuss important issues. These gatherings can play a vital role in addressing the unique challenges faced by Angelenos and fostering a sense of community. I look forward to your support. Today I attended the first 2 mini civic assemblies, and they're very great to see these people come together, work out solutions. So please, I urge your support. Number 2, I also urge your support for civil service protection and to give broader opportunities for all Angelenos who gain city employment through other measures like targeting local higher ministry jobs program. Hopefully that will be enshrined in the city's charter. Thank you.
Hey, can you test that mic? Let's just make sure it's me.
Testing.
We heard you light it down, by the way.
Okay. Thank you. I tried.
Testing,
Thank you very much.
Perfect, there we go.
I will note for the minutes that Commissioner Fuentes has joined us. Commissioner
Please.
Fuentes, do you have any ex parte communications to disclose?
No.
Thank you.
Alrighty, and after is going to be Andrew, Max, and Derek. Andrew, Max, and Derek, please queue on up. Begin.
Okay. Hi, I'm George Ramos, Studio City, and speaking on behalf of the Deliberative Assembly. What you have here is a recommendation of a supermajority of a representative sample of the people of Los Angeles. They've studied and discussed the issue for about 26 hours, and I think you'll find the recommendations reasonable. But there's a further question. Should we do this more for other future issues? There are hot topics that are coming up, like, for example, homelessness, housing, budget cuts, police issues. All these things are career endangering for city council people. If there's a panel that makes a recommendation and a city council person follows the recommendation, they are saved from really bad pressure by well-entrenched lobbyists. So it benefits both the city and the careers of the politicians, and there are very few things that do both of those. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, next.
Hello, Andrew Neely, a resident of Pico Union. I just want to echo my colleague George here in that I participated in the RewriteLA Civic Assembly, and I'll keep it brief. It was a beautiful experience. I was a moderator for it. We are living in times in which democracy is on the backslide. This is a new, phenomenal opportunity to restore faith between the residents of Los Angeles and government. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to note for the minutes that Commissioner Lewis has joined us. Commissioner Lewis, do you have any ex parte disclosures? None. Thank you.
Max, begin.
Hello, Commissioners. I live in Cerritos, so technically that's county, not city, but the Auto Square is enough cultural significance that I think I deserve a voice. I was a moderator at the RewriteLA Assemblies. Everyone here knows how much effort charter reform is. Everyone knows how annoying it is to get here at 4 p.m., especially from Cerritos. And everyone who speaks at this mic is nervous and rushed. This process ought not be rushed. Yet, we don't have time to give 90 seconds to all 4 million Angelinos. What we can do is randomly pick 40 representative Angelinos and create a civic assembly. That's what you gave us approval to do. We helped do it. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. And I especially thank the commissioners who came to the assembly. And we really ought to do this a little more often than every 26 years. Thank you.
Thank you so much. After Derek is going to be Mel, Dawn, and Dwayne. Mel, Dawn, Dwayne, you are after Derek. Derek, go ahead.
Good afternoon, commissioners and staff, and thank you for your service, the opportunity to address you. I'm going to be speaking to you one more time on behalf of the Los Feliz Neighborhood Council, which has submitted a formal community impact statement just in a few minutes. But first, I just wanted to say a couple words in my personal capacity. Just a couple things there. I also had the opportunity to moderate this civic assembly that was sponsored by Healthy Democracy, PDLA, RewriteLA. I thought it was a really wonderful process. People took it very seriously. It was a really representative sample of Angelinos. I felt the cynicism melt away in the room over the course of the weekend. So I urge you to take those recommendations to heart. And then one other thing in my personal capacity as an advisory council member of the Los Angeles Neighborhood Land Trust, I was really happy to see your commission support the increase in parks funding through the charter. So thank you for supporting that, and looking forward to you taking steps today to refer that to the city council. So chat again soon, thanks.
Thank you so much. Mel is up next.
I'm here to say how inspiring the civic assemblies were. I've been involved with Public Democracy LA and RewriteLA since October. I saw the assembly in January and the one that happened over the last few weekends. Residents were dedicated and deliberated on how to make our city better. Civic assemblies can transform the governance of our city by replacing the partisan bickering with collaborative, informed decision-making by everyday people. By using random selection, they create diverse representative groups that give residents real power to influence policy. What they produce is what the people want. I ask for you to incorporate the Assembly's recommendations.
Thank you so much. Dawn?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Dawn Modkins. I'm the Director of the Southern California Black Worker Hub. We coordinate and organize with Black worker centers throughout Southern California for worker justice. And we are standing here today in solidarity with number 4, recommendations by the Los Angeles Black Worker Center. Solidarity is not just a slogan, it is a daily practice. It means recognizing that the struggles facing one group of workers are bound with the struggles of all workers. When Black workers are shut out of public sector careers, the entire labor market suffers. Career pathways into union jobs narrow and labor standards erode for everyone. But when these pathways open, everyone gains. Working class solidarity means knowing that when we expand opportunities for those who have faced the deepest barriers, we strengthen the entire workforce. This is why the SoCal Black Worker Hub stands shoulder to shoulder with the Los Angeles Black Worker Center's recommendations. We urge you to support LABWC's recommendations and invest in a future rooted in dignity, access, and real accountability. A better Los Angeles isn't inevitable, but it is possible if we organize together.
Thank you so much. Dwayne, after Dwayne is, it looks like Soprano, Eugene, and Nick. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Dwayne Jackson. I'm here representing UCLA Care at Work in solidarity with the Los Angeles Black Worker Center. Throughout American history, real progress for working people has started with Black leadership. When Black workers fight for fair hiring, those victories open doors for women, immigrants, and workers everywhere. That pattern continues today. The Los Angeles Black Worker Center is fighting to expand sustainable access to public sector jobs, the kind of jobs that actually strengthen families and keep communities whole. But if we want real solidarity, we have to confront the barriers that keep us divided, starting with anti-Blackness. When we tear down those barriers, we make the whole workforce stronger. We urge you to vote yes on the LABWC's workforce equity recommendations. If we want a future where dignity and opportunity are real, we have to invest in people who have always been left out. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Cipriano Belster. I'm the Co-Executive Director of the Southern California Coalition for Occupational Safety and Health. And I'm here in solidarity with the LA Black Worker Center. Throughout American history, Black workers have been at the forefront of expanding what is possible for themselves and for the entire working class. From chattel slavery to civil rights to the labor movement, every time Black communities have forced open the doors that were once closed to them, those victories have really benefited only one group. We've opened the doors for women, we've opened the doors for immigrants, and we have opened the doors for the entire working class. SoCal Posh sees the same pattern in this campaign. The Los Angeles Black Worker Center is organizing to secure fair access to public sector careers, jobs that offer safety, stability, benefits, and dignity that should be the baseline, not the exception. When those opportunities expand, the benefits ripple outward. The entire working class grows stronger, our city becomes more resilient. SoCal Posh stands in solidarity with that leadership, knowing that real change is always collective. We urge you to support LABWC's recommendations and invest in a future rooted in dignity, access, and real accountability. A better Los Angeles is not inevitable, but it is possible with us organizing together. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Eugene, and I'm a proud member of the Los Angeles Black Workers Center. When most people hear privatization, they think about budgets, bottom lines. But privatization is not just about money, it's about power, who holds it, and who is forced to give it up. Every time public work is handed to private interests, something fundamental is taken. Workers lose union protection, communities lose transparency, decision-making moves further away from public accountability. Contractors answer to profit, not to the people. Public sector jobs anchor neighborhoods. They offer stability, and they keep public dollars circulating where they belong in the communities that generate them. When these jobs disappear, the stability they create disappear with them. Charter reform is how Los Angeles pushes back against a long trend of transferring public power into private hands. Public dollars should create jobs that serve us all. Adopt LABWC's workforce equity recommendations, committed to a future. Direct.
Thank you. And next.
Commit to a future rooted in dignity, access, and accountability for all of us. A better Los Angeles is possible.
Thank you so much. Time.
Together.
Nick is next. After Nick is Felice, Johan, and Naibini. Nick is next. And begin.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Nicholas Caputo. I live in Hollywood, and I work on city policy around housing, infrastructure, and economic growth. I just want to express my sincere support for the charter changes being discussed today, particularly the effort to dedicate stable funding to infrastructure and parks. Cities function best when they treat infrastructure as a long-term commitment rather than something that rises and falls with annual budgets. Establishing a minimum allocation for infrastructure within the public works budget helps ensure that the bases of the city actually keep working. And not only this, it provides a bedrock from which the city can really feel the changes that are being implemented and ask for more as future charter reform commissions or future governments find themselves doing. I also appreciate the attention being given to modernizing the city's workforce systems, especially which is recommended by the LA Black Worker Center here. Updating civil service hiring tools while maintaining merit principles can help the city recruit talent more effectively and improve transparency. One of the biggest problems beleaguering Los Angeles is, yes, a lack of funding, but also a lack of people to work on it. We don't have enough employees, and making it easier to get more employees, to find a stable job, career path, and employment opportunity unlocks multiple more positive benefits than just build potholes, new bridges, new buildings. It results in a population equipped for the future to grow with their city, a real rising tide that actually lifts everyone here. We're in a city with enormous potential, but we often struggle to align our systems with the scale of our ambitions. And this is one of the ways we can take dead set on doing that. Los Angeles is the only city.
Thank you so much, Felice. Felice is next. Felice, begin.
Good afternoon. I see you have a time clock here, but it's not.
It doesn't work as great.
It just looks.
Yeah.
Okay. I am here to follow up with emails that was sent to everyone on this committee. Everyone. And I don't understand why we're still having to convince you to do the right thing. But hopefully that you will do the right thing. Because I find it difficult, if I were in your shoes, to sleep at night, knowing that I'm participating in continually doing the wrong thing. And the right thing is to open opportunities for not only Black Angelinians, but everyone else in the city as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's your name, but you're there. Go for it.
Greetings. I'm Minnie Kuti, Protect Our Seniors, and I'm also a member of the LA Black Worker Center. And I want to thank this commission. I really appreciate this process, and I hope that it bears fruit that will benefit our community. And I want to address the issue of equity, especially when it comes to workforce development and workforce retention. The Black Worker Center has identified some recommendations that I hope are implemented. And also, I know that the city has a few equity initiatives in process, especially the the African American, the City African American Reparations Commission, that I think that should be integrated into this process. Underrepresented communities deserve transparent city workforce development data. They actually deserve. We need better data to track how equity or the fairness of equity is implemented in our city. And then also, city departments are more likely to comply with legally mandated changes.
Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Johan. After Johan, we have Eugene, Tyson, and Sharon. Eugene, Tyson, and Sharon. Please cue on up. Go ahead, Johan.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Johan, and I'm here representing Cal RCV in solidarity with the Los Angeles Black Worker Center. If you want real working class solidarity in Los Angeles, we have to face the hard truth. Anti-Blackness has always been used to keep us divided and weak. Systems are designed to pit working people against each other by race, convincing us that when black workers gain, the rest of us lose. That lie keeps us all down, but the truth is the opposite. When the barriers that target the most excluded workers are removed, opportunity expands for all of us. That's why this fight matters. This isn't just about fixing one injustice. It's about building real solidarity across the entire working class, something we've never truly had as long as anti-Blackness was a challenge. We urge you to vote yes on LABWC's recommendations. If you want Los Angeles to be a city rooted in dignity and real opportunity, we have to invest in the people and communities who have always been pushed to the margins. A better Los Angeles is not inevitable, but it's possible. And we've heard it here from other speakers, right? Immigrants, other communities of color. You know, let's support the Black Worker Center, because supporting them is supporting all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Tyson Baker.
Judy, go.
Okay. Good afternoon, commissioners, staff, and everyone that's watching online. My name is Tyson Baker. I'm a proud member of LABWC. And when people think about Los Angeles, they think about the opportunities. They think about the dream. They think about everything that they can do here to have a good life. And that's great, but for many decades, Black workers have not been able to share in that possibility. Those possibilities have been an uphill, hard-fought battle. And for decades, we've been told, work harder, keep applying, and gain more experience, which is great if it worked. Because now, Black workers are being looked over more atrociously than ever. So as a consequence of a failed system, Black workers are living in a reality where doors are being slammed in their faces. And these doors have been slammed in the faces of not just them, but entire communities that have been the backbone of Los Angeles for generations. Now, the charter reform can correct that imbalance. And in order to be able to live up to the motto, LA is for everyone, you have to include Black and brown workers. In order for us to be able to build a new and better Los Angeles, we have to do it together. So I urge you.
Thank you so much. I think I missed Eugene. Is Eugene? Thank you. Eugene, is Eugene here? No Eugene. After Eugene is Sherry.
For the minutes, I want to note that Commissioner Thomas has joined us. Commissioner Thomas, do you have any ex parte disclosures?
No.
Thank you.
Sherry. Perfect. Go.
How you doing, commissioners? My name is Sherry Marshall, and I'm proud here to stand here today as a member leader with the Los Angeles Black Worker Center and the broader coalition that has shown up throughout this process. Movements are built in moments like this. Moments when communities refuse to accept systems that do not serve them. Moments when people organize, speak up, and demand that institutions change. For generations, Black workers have built Los Angeles, its infrastructure, its services, its neighborhoods, and its culture. But the rules that govern public employment don't reflect that contribution. Today, you have the opportunity to help change that. Charter reform is not a minor policy tweak. It is a decision about whether Los Angeles will keep operating under rules written for a different era or move forward with rules that reflect who we are now. The workers who sustain this city are watching. Our communities are watching. And history is watching. We urge you to adopt LABWC's workforce equity recommendations and choose a future rooted in dignity, access, and accountability. A better Los Angeles is possible if we build it together.
Alexis, Sam, and Fatima. Alexis, Sam, Fatima, please come on down. Alexis, are you Alexis? Perfect. Alexis, Sam, and Fatima. Okay, Alexis, go.
Hi, my name is Alexis Jones, and I am a member leader. Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Alexis Jones. I am a member of the Los Angeles Black Worker Center, and I'm also a city employee for the City of LA Sanitation Department. Every city must confront a fundamental question: what kind of place are we building and for whom? Are we constructing a city where opportunity is reserved for a select few, or one where everyone who sustains it has a chance to thrive? Los Angeles works because working people make it work. Black, brown, and Asian, the multicultural working class, are the backbone of this city, keeping it running every day. Charter reform is how we break that pattern. It ensures that public dollars are actually create public opportunities. It is how we make sure the institutions of the city reflect the people who sustain them. The decision before you is not theoretical. We urge you to adopt the Los Angeles Black Worker Center workforce equity recommendations and choose a future rooted in dignity, access, and accountability. A better Los Angeles is possible if we build it together. Have a good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Samuel Rice, member leader at the Los Angeles Black Workers Center. For months, we have brought stories, data research, and lived experience from this room to this room. But beneath every testimony is a fundamental reality. Outcomes are not random. They are shaped by the rules we choose to uphold. The city charter is not a technicality. It is the blueprint that determines how opportunity is distributed and whose labor is recognized as valuable in Los Angeles. The inequities we see today are not accidental. They are the direct result of rules that were never designed to include us in the first place. That is why this moment matters. History will remember this commission chose to preserve exclusionary rules to chart a new course towards equity. We urge you to adopt Los Angeles Black Workers Center's workforce equity recommendations and choose a future rooted in dignity, access, and accountability. Thank you.
Fatima?
Yes.
Perfect, go.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Fatima Murrieta. I'm a senior organizer with Jobs to Move America, and I'm here proudly in solidarity with the Los Angeles Black Workers Center. At Jobs to Move America, workforce equity is crucial to the work we do. We believe in equitable hiring requirements, public reporting, and real accountability. We also believe an injury to one is an injury to all. When systems are allowed to shut out Black workers, those same systems are used to drive standards for everyone. In the organizing work we do, we see firsthand how harmful occupational segregation practices are to workers and their families. Los Angeles has the power to ensure all residents have access to living wage jobs that support families and build healthy communities. We respectfully urge you to vote yes on the Los Angeles Black Workers Center's recommendations to help ensure a future of dignity, access, and accountability for all workers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're going to switch to virtual, but if there are folks that didn't get a chance to sign up, we're going to put the list in the back again, and you can still add your name if you didn't get a chance to sign up. But we're going to switch to virtual here. I am getting the list right now, I think. Okay, Andrew, Amy, and Trudy, you are the first three to be called. Please be ready. Andrew, we are taking you off of mute. Andrew, can you hear us?
Someone. So,
okay, go.
I find it interesting that on number 4, I think it is, that I would have figured when I saw that they would probably get a presentation. And it seems like you're instead forcing them to use public comment. And so it seems like maybe if you really do care about what they have to say, you should actually let them have a formal presentation where they can take all the time they need to explain what their recommendations are to you. That said, this Charter Commission seems to be mostly about passing the fewest reforms possible, mostly just whatever the mayor wants, which is pretty much nothing from what I can tell. You can't even get your video working on the Zoom. Those of us watching on Zoom can't even see you while we're yelling at you. I guess I'll have to wait for the RewriteLA video to actually see you all. But there's a few other things. I guess RewriteLA gets an actual presentation. That's cool, I guess. But yeah, just very weak stuff last week, as always. I guess the police commission gets a veto on every accountability measure for the LAPD. I went there this morning, and again, a bunch of assholes.
Thank you so much. With that, we're going to go to Amy. Amy, we are taking you off of mute. Amy, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, go.
I strongly support LABWC's proposed charter reforms. I hope that when reviewing the changes to Section 1005, you will consider removing all references to examinations and just say the city may use job-related assessment methods. Examinations are a barrier. They prevent people who have struggled the most to help make the city better. These are the people who you want working for the city because they deeply understand where the issues are. As I have mentioned previously, examinations are discriminatory, and this discrimination means that some demographics are lacking proper representation. You can no longer afford to wait to hear from the personnel department. They have dragged their feet, not gotten back to you, and may not even have actual recommendations until March 27th. However, the LA Black Worker Center has done the work for you with actionable and changes you can adapt. Please, please take these into account and implement them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Trudy, we're taking you off of mute. Trudy, can you hear us? Trudy?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Trudy, 1 minute now.
My name is Trudy Goodwin, and I'm a proud member of the Los Angeles Black Workers Center. I am talking to you today to strongly urge you to approve the workforce equity recommendations put forth by the LA Black Workers Center. Today I want to share not only facts, but some heartfelt convictions. We hear often that civil service is a merit-based and neutral process, yet we must confront the uncomfortable truth. It was established in a time when exclusion was the norm. The Act of 1883 created a competitive examination system that still influences our civil service today. Ironically, that very year marked a turning point in the Supreme Court's eroded federal safeguards against racial discrimination. Civil service rules emerged from a time when whiteness was synonymous with merit. This legacy of racial exclusion still echoes in our systems, affecting countless lives and diminishing the potential of our diverse communities. If we truly seek fairness, we must confront and dismantle these barriers. Charter reform is not
Thank you so
merely a
much, Trudy. Our
procedural.
next speaker is Jessica. Jessica, we're taking you off of mute. Sorry, next three speakers are Jessica, Jester, and Kay. Jessica, Jester, and Kay. Jessica, you should be off of mute right now. Jessica.
Hi, is that Jessica Doherty?
Good.
Hi, this is Jessica Doherty. I am a small business owner and a contractor who has worked with the city numerous times to create strategic plans. I'm here today to uplift some of the strategic priorities in the city EWDD's Advantage LA plan. This was a city-led strategic plan to support older workers who are 55 plus. This plan actually uplifted a few different things that can be changed in this charter reform process. Goal 3 of the Advantage LA plan is about advancing the city's effort to be a more age-inclusive workplace for those 55 plus. In our research, we found so often there were older workers who lived near a park right next to them. That park can't hire them because of the credentialing they need to be able to work within the city. But also, individuals who want to come back to work for the city currently has guidance, Charter Section 1164B. It has a guidance on the number of days a retired city employee can return to the workforce per fiscal year, so they can only return for 120 days. Changing that guidance will actually lead to cost savings for the city. If you amend the city charter to let those folks come back, you can retain institutional knowledge, introduce phased retirement planning, also support succession planning, and also help to fill those short-term staffing gaps with less cost expenditures of the city. And it's super important right now with the fiscal challenges. So please check out the Advantage LA plan. It was written by the city.
Jester, we're taking you off of mute. Jester, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Okay, good evening to the Charter Reform Commission. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Jester Jersey, and I run the Road 16 California X/Twitter account. Today I'm speaking as an individual on agenda item number 2 on some of the final recommendations by the Los Angeles City Civic Charter Assembly. I'd like to focus on the top recommendation, the establishment of a permanent civic assembly body. On the concept of the recommendation itself, I like how representative and scientific the methodology that is used in the creation of the assembly. First, approving this recommendation would align with the Commission's recommendation to lower the voting age to 16. Second, in the supplementary mini-assembly report, the findings included participants 16 years of age and older, highlighting the importance of the youth voice. Lastly, the setup to convene in a biannual manner, or more often as needed, gives the Assembly the flexibility it needs to address important time-sensitive topics, as well as calling for additional convenings if necessary. My only suggestion to improve upon this idea is to recommend holding the convenings in such a manner as to not interfere with school year activities or the calendar, such as during longer weekends and/or spring or winter break periods, if possible. Thank you again for your work and consideration.
Thank you so much, Kay. Kay, we are taking you off of mute. After Kay is going to be Ted, Robbie, Irene. Ted, Robbie, Irene. Kay, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Go.
So yes, I would like to talk to you about the neighborhood councils. I'm sure you're not surprised. I would like you to please consider amending the charter to mention neighborhood council elections and selections, which are not there now. Every other elected office has a discussion of elections, and we would like our terms to be in our bylaws. We would like the city clerk to hold an election every 2 years, and we would like the election to be optional according to the bylaws of the neighborhood councils. So if you could please do that, it would be really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ted. We are taking Ted off of mute. Ted, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, go ahead, Ted.
Good evening. My name is Ted Booker, and I'm a member of the Los Angeles Black Workers Center. We're told the civil service is a merit-based, neutral process, but it was established at a time when exclusion was the law of the land. In 1883, the Pennington Act established a competitive exam system still used in the civil service process today. That same year, the Supreme Court weakened federal protections against racial discrimination. Civil service rules were designed in an era when whiteness was the only credential that mattered, and I'm old enough to remember that time. If we want fairness, we must address this legacy of racial exclusion. Charter reform is about rewriting the rules so the opportunity finally reflects real skill, real experience, and the true diversity of Los Angeles. We urge you to adopt the LABWC's workforce equity recommendations for a dignified, accessible, and accountable future. A better Los Angeles is possible, but only if we build it together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robbie, you are next. Robbie, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, Robbie, begin.
Yes, hi, my name is Robbie White, and I'm a member of the Los Angeles Black Workers Center, and I'm here today to urge you to adopt the charter reform recommendations put forth by the Los Angeles Black Workers Center that will help uplift Black and brown workers throughout Los Angeles and give them an opportunity to face the economic hardships that affect our everyday lives. As you know, or probably know, that Black and brown workers are disproportionately affected by a system that badly needs modernization to a fair and just system for the betterment of the whole entire city. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to check the list on the back of the room again. I'll give us just 1 second because we still have some time. Thank you so kindly. Alrighty, we've got 2 more names on the list. Sherry and Hewitt, maybe? Yeah, please come on in. Alright, begin.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, or should I say good evening. My name is Sherry Bell. I'm a member of the Los Angeles Black Workers Center. And many of us standing here today are not just speaking for ourselves. We're speaking for the generations that came before us and the ones that will come after us. There were a time that Black workers were able to buy houses, cars, fund their children's higher education, and build the Black middle class. These Black workers who built the city roads, maintained its infrastructure, and staffed its public services, they believed that they worked hard enough, their children will have access to something better. But what happens to a dream deferred? Black workers are consistently being excluded from public sector careers that provide stability, health care, pensions, and pathways to the middle class. That exclusion was not accidental. These systems that structure and govern hiring and access were never designed with equity in mind, and has not evolved to reflect the diversity and strength of the workforce that powers this city. Charter reform is an opportunity to break this pattern. It is a chance to ensure that future generations of Black workers do not inherit the same barriers that their parents faced. We urge you to adopt LABWC's workforce equity recommendations and move this city towards dignity, access, and accountability. A better Los Angeles is possible if we build it together.
Good evening. My name is Yoni Samu.
A little closer to the mic.
Sorry?
A little closer to the mic.
Get closer.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. My name is Yoni Samu. I'm with the Los Angeles Black Workers Center. And I'm also first-generation immigrant via Ethiopia. And today I want to share with you an African proverb that says, a child who's not embraced by the village will burn the village down just to feel the warmth. And it is apparent to me that our leaders are such children. They have a lot to prove, something to prove, and they operate as someone that's not loved. But we need new leaders with common sense and leaders who are willing to do the right thing. So we urge you today to be that leader and vote for the workforce recommendations brought forth to you by the Los Angeles Black Workers Center. It is the right thing to do, not just for Black workers, but for everyone in Los Angeles. A better Los Angeles is possible if we build it together. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, that concludes everyone who's signed up for public comment.
Thank you. We now move on to Neighborhood Council Community Impact Statements. I know of one in the room. If you have a Neighborhood Council Community Impact Statement, could you also raise your hand online, please? All right. Sir, if you could come rejoin us for your CIS, you'll have 5 minutes.
Thank you once again, commissioners and staff. So now I'm speaking to you on behalf of the Los Feliz Neighborhood Council. We set up an ad hoc committee on the charter reform process and had a number of meetings about it and got to a community impact statement that was overwhelmingly supported by our neighborhood council, so I wanted to share our recommendations with you. We support the reform process and we offer the following recommendations. The first one, apropos of today's meeting, is to use civic assemblies to shape charter reform priorities. We also support the independence of the Charter Reform Commission from political influence. Replace everything once every 10 years with an ongoing issue-specific reform process. Strengthen the role of neighborhood councils and community bodies in charter-level land use governance. Compensate and support public participants to remove barriers to participation. Align charter reform with anti-displacement and affordable housing goals. Adopt a 2-year city budget cycle and formalize a 5-year capital improvement plan. Require equitable distribution of housing capacity across community plan areas. Require regular general plan and zoning updates at least every 20 years. Grant the Los Angeles Housing Department independent authority to fund affordable housing projects. Remove Charter Section 104E FAR restriction. Give the controller an independent budget. Designate the controller as the city's chief financial officer. Clarify the controller's audit authority includes performance audits of all city programs that are sourced from or use city tax dollars, including those under elected offices. Allow the controller to hire outside counsel. enshrine the controller's fraud, waste, and abuse function. The Department of Neighborhood Empowerment should maintain a database of knowledge articles for standard neighborhood council assistance, and the general manager should have policy experience. We support ranked choice voting and eliminating primaries. We urge you to prohibit the Los Angeles Police Department from conducting pretextual traffic stops based on non-moving or equipment violations. Require annual Inspector General audits on racial profiling and uses of force with disaggregated data. Amend Charter Section 571 to require the Police Commission composition that reflects citywide demographic diversity and includes impacted individuals. Mandate Police Commission meeting accessibility standards, including language access, timing, location, and meaningful public comment. Amend Charter Section 574 to explicitly protect the right to protest and decouple protest from riot or disturbance language. Amend Charter Section 574 to protect the public and journalists' right to document law enforcement activities. Shift the burden of proof to the Los Angeles Police Department chief to justify non-disclosure of records under the Public Records Act. Thank you very much for your consideration.
All right, I believe we have some CISs online, so we'll get those queued up. All right, actually, if there's anyone online, last call, if you could put up your hand if you have an approved community impact statement. All right, seeing none, we are going to move to approval of the meeting minutes. Commissioners, we have 2 meeting minutes to approve today. First, we will do the meeting minutes from March 3rd. Can I get a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Is there a second? I will second. Is there any discussion on approval of the meeting minutes from March 3rd? All right, seeing none, is there any objection to approving the minutes? All right, seeing none, the minutes are approved. We now move on to approval of our meeting minutes from our meeting on March 5th. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second. Commissioner Sanchez.
I'll second.
Wonderful. Commissioner Sanchez seconds. All right, any discussion on the meeting minutes from March 5th? Seeing none, is there any objection to approving the meeting minutes from March 5th? All right, the minutes are approved. Commissioners, before we go into the items before us, let's take a 15-minute recess. Is there any objection to a recess? All right, we will reconvene at 5:15, everyone. Commissioner Fuentes is absent. Commissioner Fields is absent. Excuse me, Commissioner Fuentes. Present. Commissioner Levine. Present. Commissioner Lewis is here and will be joining us shortly. Commissioner Mack. Present. Commissioner Mesa is present. Commissioner Murray. Present. Commissioner Sanchez. Present. Commissioner Stein. Present. Commissioner Thomas is here and will be joining us shortly. Commissioner Yap is absent. Commissioner Morrison. Present. Great. Okay, Commissioners, we will now move to item number 1 on the agenda, consideration and possible approval of potential planning and infrastructure charter language. I'm going to hand it over to the Executive Director to talk about the process the staff went through, and then hand it over to Commissioner Murray for a few intro remarks.
Thank you, Commissioners, and congratulations. This is the first item before you to approve for charter amendments to send to council, so this is a huge milestone and it's exciting to be here with you. These items, of course, first came from motions of approved reforms that you directed staff to write as charter language. We worked with various departments that had impacts on this, and then did a draft and worked with city attorney staff for the final look and final draft, and that is what is in front of you, these items, along with the technical charter amendments, the red line, if you will, are explanations for those reforms. That is required by the ordinance that's set up, that says to send forward charter amendments and basically explain why, and report back why. So that both by approving the amendments with the explanations, that fulfills that mandate in the ordinance. So before you, we have the first batch. It's 2 items. We have more on infrastructure and planning coming on Thursday. You've gotten, and the public has gotten all of those posted on the website as well, those reforms. So we'll keep on rolling these out and having you consider and hopefully approve charter amendments, charter language at every meeting moving forward. And I'll turn it over to Chair of the Infrastructure and Planning Committee, Commissioner Murray.
Thank you. This is really exciting, and I'm happy to be the first person to have, hopefully, the charter reform language approved with regards to planning and infrastructure. As you all know, the commission did vote to allocate at least 2% of the annual public works budget for infrastructure, and also increasing, doubling the budget currently set in the charter for parks. And there is the explanation, and on page 2 of the document that I have, it is amending or reforming section 583 of financial support, and that has to do with public works. And page 3 is amending section 593 financial support for the parks. Is there a need to make a motion?
Yeah.
And if we could just have a little bit of guidance from either the city
Sure,
attorney or the
yes.
city clerk.
We are looking for a motion to approve this charter language and an explanation for the council.
Thank you. Then I move to approve the charter language and the explanation with regards to charter changes with regards to Public Works and Department of Recreation and Parks as suggested in the document.
I second the motion. Right, the motion has been moved and seconded. Discussion. All right, I just want to thank the committee members and the chairwoman who worked on this language, and for actually Commissioner Stein for fighting for infrastructure the entire step of the way, and also for Commissioner Field who introduced the item on the set aside, and I look forward to the remaining infrastructure and planning items on Thursday and forthcoming. Is there any other discussion? All right, seeing none, since this is charter language, let's take a vote. Commissioner Andrades.
Yes.
Commissioner Field is absent. Commissioner Fuentes has stepped out. Commissioner, sorry, it's okay.
Yes.
Commissioner Levine.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis has stepped out. Commissioner Mack.
Yes.
Commissioner Mesa votes yes. Commissioner Murray.
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez.
Yes.
Commissioner Stein.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Yap is absent. Commissioner Morrison.
Yes.
Motion passes. Congratulations, Commissioners. We now move to item number 2, a presentation from RewriteLA on their mini assembly. I'll hand it to the Executive Director.
Hello, it's lovely to see you all again. I'm Lynn Davis, a Program Co-Director at Healthy Democracy, a nonpartisan nonprofit who designed and coordinated this civic assembly. The recommendations you're about to hear were created and approved by the 2026 Los Angeles City Charter Civic Assembly. The Assembly addressed the following question: what should be the size and structure of the LA City Council? However, the Assembly was also free to make any other recommendations they would like. The recommendations were written by the Assembly's delegates after approximately 26 hours of in-person information gathering, deliberation, and decision-making between February 28th and March 8th, and thank you to commissioners and staff who came to the Assembly. The Assembly heard from 17 informational presenters and reviewed many supporting documents. The Assembly identified 68 initial policy concepts and worked to refine those into a slate of final recommendations through a multi-stage, small and large group deliberation process. These final recommendations were supported by 31 of 35 voting delegates on the final day of the Assembly, that is 89%. The recommendations you're about to hear are composed exclusively of the words of delegates themselves, with no additions, deletions, or edits of any kind by staff. The Commission voted to ask for civic assemblies on charter topics on October 8th, and on October 29th, committed to receiving the results and thoroughly considering them as the Commission prepares its own final recommendations for Council. This assembly was a project of RewriteLA, which is a coalition of several nonprofits and individuals working to expand public participation in the charter reform process. Assembly delegates were selected from among respondents to a postcard mailed to 20,000 residential addresses equally distributed across city council districts across the city of Los Angeles, as well as to outreach in partnership with social service organizations and residents without addresses. Delegates were randomly selected from this respondent pool to reflect a microcosm of the city in terms of age, gender, race, ethnicity, location of residence, political party, housing status, and educational attainment. Healthy Democracy, which designed and coordinated both the selection process and in-room deliberations, will release a final demographic profile of the Assembly soon at healthydemocracy.org/LA. We know and appreciate the time pressure the Commission is under, and because same for us and for the Assembly in this case. We only received private funding for this part of the project in November, so the lottery, the design, logistics, the Assembly itself were all done in less than 4 months, which is absolute breakneck speed for a process of this kind. This Civic Assembly was the first ever in Southern California, and LA is by far the biggest US city to ever host an assembly in the last 55 years of this in the United States. This is a historic moment for democracy at its most fundamental, for policy leadership by everyday people from all walks of life. Members of the Assembly who are attending here in person will be reading their recommendations, after which any delegates who wish to say a few personal words, including any delegates online if possible, will then have an opportunity, and then we'll invite Q&A. So with that, I'd like to introduce members of the LA City Charter Civic Assembly.
Hi, my name is Ram Samir. I'm a native Los Angelino. I live in Venice in CD11. Following the 9 recommendations we have, I'll read the first one. Establish a permanent civic assembly randomly selected to reflect Los Angeles demographics, to review, advise, and refer city council decisions back for consideration, with a minimum of 2 assemblies per year.
Hello, my name is Charles Boyd. I'll be reading the second item here. The City Council should be 25 single-member districts. The office of City Council President should randomly rotate between members with non-consecutive terms ending at the end of each session, including special sessions. Thank you.
Hello, City Commissioners. My name is Julia Clark, and I want to say as the population increases with the U.S. Census, that the size of the City Council should be automatically increased. We also propose that there should be no more than 170,000 people per district. The council members must live in their respective district for at least 1 year prior to the election.
Hello, I'm Kathleen Turner, and I'm a business owner in Angelino in District 10. Council members and the mayor will no longer have appointment powers to the Ethics Commission, is our recommendation.
Hello, my name is Robert Wynn Gabriel. I'm originally from Manchester, UK. I moved to this country, United States, obviously in 2016. I'm a US citizen, of course. So for number 6, we wanted to create an independent, non-partisan office of the Inspector General with the authority to investigate, audit, and refer for prosecution of any city employee, whether they be elected or appointed. The Inspector General will lead with the Ethics Commission. And for number 7, voting will be done by ranchers. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kelsey Miller. I'm a resident of District 4. I'll be reading 2 recommendations. The first, 1 council size option should be presented for the vote. Language shall include that an increase in city council membership is an increase in representation. And the second, hire a qualified COO and CFO independently, not appointed by the mayor or by the city council.
Hello, I would like to expand on the earlier recommendation on council members and mayor will no longer have appointment powers to the Ethics Commission. I would like to suggest that we follow a similar model to New York State, where they have an open application and people that are not in government, such as deans in law schools, can assess and evaluate if people that can go in the Ethics Commission are qualified for the job and there's no conflict of interest. There's no point in having watchdogs be appointed by the people who are supposed to be watching them. So this is a sure step to help end corruption.
Should have introduced, we've switched to personal comments for a moment, starting with Kathleen. Do other folks have personal comments they'd like to make before we start Q&A? All right. So open to Q&A.
I actually had a question, and she just answered it, and that was about the appointment of the Ethics Commission. Thank you.
Commissioner Fuentes.
I just wanted to say thank you all so much for the work that you did. It's so important and vital, and we couldn't have done this without you all running that parallel process and coming back to us today. So thank you so much.
Commissioner Lewis.
I want to echo what was just said around just kudos for the work. Just a question about the release of the final demographic profile. It's coming soon. How soon is soon?
Let's say by the end of this week.
I also want to appreciate all the work that's been done and thank you for the opportunity to go and speak to the mini assembly. I do strongly believe that it is a process that should happen again when there is periodic charter review, and I want to let the members of the public know that's part of the recommendations that we've already adopted, is that there should be a parallel civic assembly process with periodic charter review. I also want to let you know that a number of the recommendations align with some of the things that you have also raised. And the good thing is that the council is the ultimate decision maker, and so them seeing your recommendations as well that go above and beyond ours is helpful for the dialogue. So I just want to thank you all.
I just wanted to make the point that when I went into this, I was expecting a lot of fighting with 40 people from all throughout the city of LA, from every single race, gender, and age. And I was pleasantly surprised to see none of that. We worked for 4 days, 4 long weekends, discussed many issues. I think we said about 50, 68 different topics that we whittled down. And the fact that we came to an agreement of, we said 89% of people voted, every single item that we voted on, the votes were, I can't tell you the exact votes, but it was not 51-49%. We all came to an agreement after we thoroughly digested every issue. So my point of saying all this is that this is not just one type of person agreeing on this. The entire demographic of Los Angeles was represented, and we all came to an agreement on these bullet points.
Commissioner Lewis.
I don't know if you intended to say it, but we heard you refer to the state of LA, like instead of the city of LA.
I was misspeaking.
Well, no, I think of LA sometimes as a state, so I was like, oh, I have a like-minded person here. So we function like a state, at least the county.
Population of 4 million, and Wyoming has a 500,000.
Right, so, yeah.
All right, can we get a motion to receive and, please, another comment, sir.
Hi there. Yeah, have another comment to make. So, one thing I would like to speak to is that it has been over 100 years since we've seen an increase in the amount of council members on the board. And obviously when this is represented across the world, even across the United States of America, this is almost unheard of. And another thing I would like to speak to is the power of people coming together, the people of the nation, the people of the city, coming together, speaking and representing each other in the decisions that we came up with. I think that is something that Los Angeles needs to do a lot more. We need to be speaking amongst each other, having more civic assemblies. For this to be the first one of this regard, I think ever. I think that's interesting to say the least. And I'd like to see this happening more. For this to be mandatory, maybe in Los Angeles, that would be a great thing. But for the people to come together, to speak, represent each other, give their different backgrounds, and give what they think, and want to add it to the populace and the policies and the decisions out here is a beautiful thing, and it's what we need more of in such a large city such as Los Angeles. So,
Hello again, my name is Charles, and I just wanted to...
It's a little closer to the mic, please.
Sorry. I just wanted to second what my fellow delegates were saying, and I think, just like Ron, I was expecting going into this that it would be me, 39 other people, just viciously arguing over all of these things, having everything be a split decision, but after going through it, it's just forefront in my mind how important things like this are, because we all genuinely came together to make these decisions, and as I said, it wasn't like a 49-51 split. It was majority almost every single time. So this is so important. So thank you. And I hope we do more of these in the future.
I have Commissioner Morrison and then Commissioner Thomas. Commissioner Morrison.
Thank you. I'm new to what you're doing, so consider these questions as a newcomer and maybe it'll help with clarification. Okay, just curious, do these end up becoming charter recommendations, or are some of them just general good governance, civic participation recommendations?
Yeah, we're going to do a motion to receive and file the presentation today, and then these will also be included in our report that we send to council.
Okay, so I'll just ask some clarifying questions for those of you who and thank you for the time you spent. This first one on having 2 of these assemblies per year, I know how hard it is to get people to participate in civic life, from neighborhood councils to what you obviously did. Is it thinking that I'm thinking it's going to be hard to get people to commit to that twice a year. As soon as one's done, you're almost like getting another one going. So is that a rigid number, or is that an aspirational number, and where does that reside?
Hi, yes, that's a great question. To give you an idea of this program, we actually met 2 weekends back to back, so that's 4 sessions. So the way this group has executed it, now I'm not a part of this, I'm just like a civilian, is that they sent a wide, a lot of people, offer them to apply, and the people that are most motivated to come, they will join, and they will commit to it. So I think that a lot of, if we're able to come up with a focus list like this, it's basically like a civilian think tank. Focus list like this in just 4 days over 2 weekends. That's important, weekends, because I have a business, a lot of us work. I think that people can commit to this, and 2 is probably just the bare minimum. I think we should have more of these, or anything like bike lanes, noise, anything like that. Just the stuff that people feel a lot about, that maybe a council member might be relieved that they don't have to make the decision.
That helps. That makes sense. I thought it was going on for 6 months, and then you were starting another one for 6 months. So okay, that's helpful.
I would just add that the goal is, in my mind, that the 1 to 2 minute public speaking period during council meetings is, nothing really happens from that. And I think there's a middle ground between that and voting every 2 to 4 years. years. So having some more civic involvement that's more than the neighborhood council is directly meeting with council members, I think that would be very helpful to have in the right policy.
That clarifies it, thank you. The second question is on expanding the size of the city council, which I know you've all been wrestling with, and it's important, from 15 to 25 is what you're recommending. Does that, did you all discuss whether we are moving from 15 feet duns to 25 now, which has been sometimes the feeling in the city of LA that every council member kind of runs their own little mini city? Or is there any kind of like, in your mind, change in the amount of power and authority that council members would have over land use planning and zoning, which actually sometimes can get in a quagmire?
Great, that's a good question. So part of the plan includes redistricting, so the amount that, the timing when we would have the 25 council members would align with the time of the redistricting.
So is there any change in the power vested in the council at that point because of the, you know, the criticism of the city of LA is that we have 15 different fiefdoms, right? So now we would have 25.
It's a change in power for the civilians. The argument is for more representation, because the idea is that because some council members have such large control over an area, the individuals matter less. So by dividing more in representation with the neighborhoods and according to the census, citizens will have better representation.
Okay, all right, thank you. Question on number 4, council members must live in their...
Just add to that.
Okay.
Just have some numbers. New York City has 1 council member for 170,000 people. Santa Monica has, I think, 1 for every like 10 or 20,000 people. So we're not going to, if we were to change it to the second highest city, I think it would be like something like 40 council members. So I think 25 is not much of a jump.
Yeah, no, I wasn't asking about the numbers, more about a change in the power dynamic.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it would change the power dynamic, absolutely.
Okay. My next question is on number 4. It says council members must live in the respective...
I think I can answer your question. They did discuss that quite a lot. The powers, how much there was, I'm Joe Matthews, I'm just one of the volunteer co-organizers of this. I'm a reporter, I watched the whole thing. They at one point in the draft, they even had a thing that sort of restricted council powers, but that didn't ultimately make it in the end.
Okay, so it was discussed. Yeah. Thank you. So the question on number 4, council members must live in the respective district for at least 1 year prior to the election. I'm just wondering about redistricting. I'm just thinking about, I live in council district 13 now, but it used to be council district 4. So if I were thinking of running for city council and then, which I'm not, and then suddenly it was redistricted, it would take me out of the running to run in an area that I'd perhaps lived in for 15 years. Did you talk about that at all?
Yes, I understand your concern. However, this is a bare minimum. In the House of Reps, to represent your district, you have to live a minimum of a year from the election. So we feel that this is more appropriate because given the circumstances now, someone could actually run for city council 30 days before they're able to sign up for the position. So that's like around 6-7 months. So that's just not enough time. That's what we felt. But there have been cases, I think Mayor Wu, Councilman Wu, when he discussed that he was running for council, there was a redistricting, and he might have lost his spot. That I'm not saying it won't happen, I'm just saying that yes, this could happen, but I think the benefits are more important, and that is we have a higher probability of having more representation according to the neighborhood with this proposition.
Yeah, I would just caution that I think the boundaries do change with redistricting.
May I answer one of your previous questions, add something else to it? When you asked would they consider the changing in the duties and the powers of the discussion was, should they have the power to stop development ideas or make them proceed? And the reason why they couldn't come to a conclusion is because they weren't sure how they could replace that process with something that would have less conflicts of interest. So they tried to do it, but they couldn't come up with a better alternative. You guys might be able to. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. When it says number 5, council members and the mayor will no longer have appointment powers to the Ethics Commission, I think one of you stood up and said you would recommend that would maybe be professors, or academics, it's a little bit vague as to who would.
Yes, that was me. New York actually passed an act regarding that. And so the idea is that people, the Ethics Commission are, some of them could be recommended by politicians, but also some of them could be open for application, and that people who assess their ability and ensure that there's no conflict of interest, they're in positions of law schools, like deans and things like that. So Angelenos and the city council never could decide, okay, who will be part of the council to decide who can go on ethics commission, but the intention, as collectively as we intended, is that we have historically seen a lot of corruption in the city council, and part of that corruption came because of the mayor and city council appointing people in the ethics commission.
But it's not clear here who actually would make those appointments.
So I said we would follow the model of New York.
I'm going to go to Commissioner Thomas, and I got myself in the queue, and then we can circle back.
Okay.
Commissioner Thomas.
Well, I was going to say I was ready to vote.
If you yield, I will make a motion.
Yes. I move that we vote.
To receive in five. I will second.
I would just ask that I think the clarifying questions I'm asking, this has actually been very useful.
Absolutely.
It goes on the record what they were thinking that they could not put into this report. So I just have two more questions.
Please.
Okay. Actually, I think I just have one more question. The last one, number 9, hire a qualified COO and CFO independently, not appointed by the mayor or the city council. Who hires that person?
Okay, so there's a lot of discussion around that, and one of the thoughts is that we open an application, and that again, it would be a group within government that would assess the talents of the candidate. As someone who has run a business, I know how hard it is to get the right hire, right? And I know business and government are not the same, but the thoughts are if we remove some of the administrative burden that has been experienced by members of the city council, the city could have give a better experience to residents. A great example someone has stated is that one time their street was repaved, it was beautiful, and then 2 weeks later it was dug up because they needed to install some pipes or something. So that's what the administrators do, that were their responsibilities, and I think the people were open to how the appointment happens, but they just want someone just more capable to do the job. Sorry, council members.
Yeah, it's just clear if they're going to hire, who's hiring, they also have the ability to fire. So it's just not clear to me.
Yes, they're out of
with whom that's vested. Okay, thank you.
Wonderful.
And sorry, I just have one more comment. Our group was given a very kind of discrete set of questions, specifically about the size of the council, about the size of the city council and its potential structure. As we came to learn, the size of the city council hasn't changed in 100 years. I can understand that changing structure, changing the size, some of our additional proposals look big. But not doing something for 100 years is also big. So I think we need big change, and a lot of these things are responding to collateral consequences of doing nothing. So I think it's time to do something much bigger. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. I will call a vote on the motion to receive and file. Commissioner Andrades.
Yes.
Commissioner Field is absent. Commissioner Levine.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis.
Yes.
Commissioner Mack.
Yes, and noting that we skipped Fuentes.
Sorry, Commissioner Fuentes.
Yes, thank you.
Commissioner Mesa votes yes. Commissioner Murray.
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez.
Yes.
Commissioner Stein.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Yap is absent. Commissioner Morrison.
Yes.
All right, motion passes.
So in formally receiving the presentation, does that also mean the demographic profile will be a part of that as well? Will that be on record?
Yeah, we will make sure that not only does it get circulated to the commissioners, but it will also be on the record.
Okay, got it.
We now move on to item 3, discussion on the February 23rd, 2026 letter from the Personnel Department. All right, so commissioners, I'm going to hand it over to Commissioner Mack for any remarks, but before that, I just want to say, as some of you recall, I know some of you were not at our last meeting, the Personnel General Manager, Malika Billups, came and presented. She outlined the process that the city will be taking in regard to this area, which is they did not provide specific charter recommendations. They presided some of the areas and goals that they are going to proceed through the meet and confer process with the labor unions in the city of Los Angeles. And so we don't have any recommendations per se to vote on, but what we can do is have discussion and then also move to receive and file, as they will do the process of meet and confer in order to get something that they can put forward to City Council. So Commissioner Mack.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Mizar. I was actually just going to preface the same thing that you did. For anyone who didn't attend the meeting where Personnel Department came to present, I think if it's helpful, I can just go over the 4 really quickly, and then we can open discussion for that. So just to reiterate, looking at the package on our table here, it's referring to the Personnel Department letter. The first one is regarding exemptions, Charter Section 1001. And so this one talks a little bit more about the Charter Section 100B4. And talking about the challenges around the fixed number cap limits currently. The second one, examination, Charter Section 1005. This is a little bit more about what is the current language around the civic service exams, and currently it is worded positions in the classified civil service shall be filed through competitive examinations. The charter requires exams to be practical and fairly tested, and the request is to modernize it so that the language changes so that it's a little bit more flexible to the way that the city is currently hiring. The third one is assessment and ranking of applicants, which is Charter Sections 1006 and 1009. This one talks a little bit more about promotions. The last one talks about the authority to transfer from Civil Service Commission, which touches sections 1003, 1004, 1013, and 1014. And so currently the city charter rules is that the Civil Service Commission currently holds this authority to 1, establish jobs classifications, promulgate the civic service rules, approve temporary emergency appointments, and approve special reassignments. And so this one is to talk a little bit more about authority transfers from the commission. Again, in this letter that we were presented, it is more of broader concepts. And then I actually had a clarifying question for staff. Wanted to clarify that these recommendations were not part of, did not go through meet and confer. Yes, correct?
Sorry, the question was?
These recommendations were not part of meet and confer yet?
Since meet and confer hasn't technically started, this is just their general recommendations that they're starting to form the conversation with, but that they might not necessarily be the final ones that once meet and confer starts, there could be more, there could be less, but this is where they start.
All right, for the purposes of discussion, can I get a motion to receive and file, please? Moved by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Sanchez. I will say that, especially with the area of the examination, I think that I'm glad that the city is going to go through the meet and confer process to have these honest and open discussions. I've said from the very beginning that I think it is a huge problem that it takes a year to fill entry-level positions. I think it's a lose for everyone. It's a loss for the residents of the city of Los Angeles that there is not a workforce that can deliver on the services, even the budgeted services that we had. It's a loss for labor unions because they don't get members in the door that contribute to their organizations. It's a loss to the city as an employer. And so I really am glad to see that the discussions are going to happen to hopefully figure this out. Commissioner Andrades and then Commissioner Mack.
Yeah, I just want to voice my extreme frustration with the personnel department.
failure to start meet and confer until we have 3 weeks left in the commission is not just a disservice to us, but it's a disservice to the residents of LA who want a more equitable hiring process that occurs faster. Because now our hands are tied. We are going to send our recommendations to council, and it sounds like the personnel department is going to send their recommendations that have not been vetted by this commission. And in doing so, I think that creates a very slippery slope where other stakeholders across the government and across the city can send other recommendations that invalidate the hard work of this commission and the compromise of this commission. So we need to figure out some way to move forward real substantive personnel recommendations that go through the legal processes, but do not create a pipeline for other government actors and other bad actors, some bad actors, not that personnel department is, but to push forward policy that was not vetted by this commission, taking into all other stakeholders. Because we had a lot of compromise, and I think this creates a really slippery slope in the future.
Commissioner Mack.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna add, specifically amongst the four, I think just looking at examination, and I know I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I do think there is overlaps in terms of with what we're going to talk about next in our next agenda item around the Black Worker Center recommendations, and I do see some overlapping with examination, and in terms of just modernizing the language in the first item for Black Worker Center, they actually do provide language, and so I just want to say and point that out.
All right, we have a motion to receive and file the letter from the Personnel Department. I'm going to call a vote. Commissioner Andradas.
Yes.
Commissioner Field is absent. Commissioner Fuentes.
Yes.
Commissioner Levine.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis.
Yes.
Commissioner Mack.
Yes.
Commissioner Mesa votes yes. Commissioner Murray.
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez.
Yes.
Commissioner Stein.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Yap is absent. Commissioner Morrison.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners. We now move on to item number 4, consideration and possible approval of recommendations from the Black Worker Center. I'm going to hand it over to Commissioner Mack.
Thank you. So for those of you in the public, thank you so much for showing up to our meetings, and also I think just as one of the members of the subcommittee for personnel and budget, thank you for coming out to all of our meetings. Really appreciate it. I'm going to go over the 6 recommendations from the LA Black Worker Centers really quickly, and then we can have discussion. And at the end of this, I'm going to reserve my right to make a motion so we can continue on. But number 1 is modernizing the civil service hiring methods. So the policy objective is this one, for this one, is to enable the city to use modern job-related assessment tools for civic service applicants while maintaining merit principles and validating hiring processes. As you can see in the package that was presented to us and printed in front, the Black Worker Center actually laid out policy objectives, reasoning, and then actual proposed charter amendment that we can use and model. So I'm just going to read through it. The charter currently emphasizes competitive examinations, but modern public sector hiring often uses additional assessments method that more effectively evaluate job-related competencies. Charter-level flexibility allows future improvements to higher practices while upholding merit principles. And so they're proposing that Section 1005 of the Charter is amended to read as follows. Positions in the classified civil service shall be filled based on merit and fitness of public service. The city may use examinations and other job-related assessments methods to fairly evaluate applicants' qualifications and capacity to perform the duties of the position. Civic service rules shall establish standards governing the administration and validation of such assessments methods to ensure fairness, transparency, and compliance with the applicable law. The second one talks about public service career pathways, and so this one is to add a section in Article 10 that reads as follows. The City of Los Angeles recognizes that access to public employment promotes economic opportunity, community stability, and effective delivery of public services. The city shall support development of workforce pathways that prepare residents for civil service careers. These pathways may include partnership with labor organizations, educational institutions, workforce development programs, and community-based organizations. So this section established a policy commitment that shall not be construed to require any specific appropriation, funding level, or program structure. The third one touches on inclusive recruitment and outreach. This one is also to add a new section to Article 10 as follows. The city shall promote recruitment and outreach efforts to broaden awareness of civic service employment and contracting opportunities and encourage participation from qualified individuals, businesses, and organizations throughout the city. For the purposes of this section, inclusive recruitment includes outreach intended to increase awareness of public employment and contracting opportunities among historically disenfranchised and vulnerable communities identified through the city's repair and equity frameworks. In carrying out these efforts, the city may engage educational institutions, labor organizations, workforce development programs, small business organizations, and community-based organizations. The fourth recommendation is workforce access and transparency. This one is to add another section to Article 10, reading as follows. The city shall promote fair and transparent practices in recruitment, hiring, retention, and contracting, and seek to identify and address structural barriers that may limit access to public employment and contracting opportunities. In carrying out this section, the city may consider workforce access and participation among historically disenfranchised and vulnerable communities identified through the city's repair and equity framework. Actions undertaken pursuant to this section shall be implemented in a manner that is consistent with Article 1, Section 31 of the California Constitution and other applicable law. The fifth is Workforce Equity Commission. This one is to add an article that would establish a Workforce Equity Commission. The commission shall include representatives from the labor organizations representing city employees, personnel, and HR professionals, and community members who live in or are from Los Angeles and demonstrate a commitment to workforce development. And then I'm just going to move over to the last one, which is Workforce Equity Audits. This one is to add a section into the charter that would read as follows, that the city shall conduct workforce equity audits at least once every 4 years to evaluate recruitment, hiring, promotion, retention, and contracting practices within the city workforce. Such audits shall assess workforce access, identify potential structural barriers to public employment and participation in the city contracting opportunities, and review relevant workforce data, including workforce participation amongst historically disenfranchised and vulnerable communities throughout the city's repair and equity frameworks. Reports prepared to the section shall be made publicly available and presented to the Workforce Equity Commission. And also that the section will be in compliance with applicable federal and state law. And then I would like to make a motion that we recommend that the city meet and confer with the labor partners and organizations regarding all of these all of these recommendations from the Black Workers Centers.
And I'd second that.
Motion by Commissioner Mack, second by Commissioner Thomas. Just to, real quick before we go into discussion, just so everyone's on the same page, because again, this is a civil service reform and we'll need to go through the meet and confer process, I want to appreciate Commissioner Mack working with staff on the motion. The motion is to recommend that the city include these recommendations as part of the meet and confer process. So not just to do the ones that they came up with, but also to do these ones as well. So why don't we open it up for any discussion? Let me invite Trina Traylor from the Black Workers Center to add to the discussion. Of course, and please, and Ariel too.
And then, commissioners, let me just say that for all of us committee meetings that we've had from the Personnel and Budget, Black Workers Center showed up, and these two really showed up and helped us really understand the recommendation. And so I just want to take the time to thank you. And I know you've been meeting with commissioners to explain the recommendations, and so just thank you for taking all the extra time to meet with us.
Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate the audience that we've been given.
If you could just sit closer to
Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate each audience that we've been given and how receptive you all have been, and really helping us shape and make sure that these recommendations move forward. Your support is not unnoticed.
Yeah, and I want to make a special thank you to Raymond, who has really enlightened us on this process and helped walk us through it and got us into rooms that we needed to be into with the unions, and yeah, and then also Dr. Thomas, who's also been an ally since we began this process.
Why don't you two just stay up with us in case there's any questions that you may be better addressed to answer, but Commissioner Morrison.
First of all, I was very impressed with your organizing public comment today. It was very interesting, and congratulations on this report. I just have one question. The recommendation to create the Workforce Equity Commission, I'm not exactly sure how many commissions we already have in the city of Los Angeles, but I just, wonder about yet another, which has to be staffed and all that. So did you talk about, are there other places where workforce equity could actually be, under the umbrella of another commission, or even how the city council committees interact with these particular issues?
To answer the first part of your question, we have considered there are many commissions, you're right. It's a lot of time, a lot of effort. We've talked about whether that could be a subcommittee of the Civil Service Commission, and that has been received well from our labor partners in conversation. And then we've also discussed whether this could be something that lives in the Civil Human Rights Department.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear. Thank you.
Commissioner Lewis and then Commissioner Thomas.
Thank you. And I definitely commend you on all that the center does. I was sharing earlier that I've been familiar with the center for many years, since Lola Smallwood-Cuevas is running it. I won't bore you with details of how I became involved and came to know the center's work, but I'm part of the congregation who's kind of preaching to the choir up here with me, but that's a good thing. Not that this really matters to me personally, but do you have a sense of any incurred costs to the city in implementing these recommendations? And I say that it doesn't matter to me because I think it needs to be done. A budget is a value statement, so regardless of the costs, I don't think it would be prohibitive enough to not do this. But I'm just curious if you have any numbers there.
Thanks so much for queuing us up. We'd love for this to be in the public record. So we've been really intentional about each recommendation and making sure, or asking ourselves the question, if this is a cost incurred, how likely is it to move through the process? And for us, all 6 of the recommendations are really built upon each other. What does it mean to have a pathways program if we don't have data that shows that it's actually being implemented in the way in which our policy prescribes? And so to answer your question, very minimal cost. So with the Pathways program, as you see in front of you, it does not come with a budget allocation. Instead, what we're relying on is our partners across labor, across schools, to really use both city funding that's available for the budget, for the fiscal year, as well as other funding sources, both private as well as WIOA. And so we're really looking to try to minimize the cost to the city and optimize the opportunity to the residents.
Thank you.
Commissioner Thomas.
Well, I just want to say I am just so proud of the work that you all have done. You have showed up, and your work is impeccable. And I am so glad. I am so glad to have been able to meet with you all. I know y'all too. I know Lola too. I've been knowing the Black Workers Center for a while. But you're 100% correct in terms of funding. There is funding available. I recently got a grant to do this very thing in terms of pathways. I hope we can work together.
Of course.
Can I say that? Y'all tell me if I can say that. But the people that you had present, the heartfelt statements that they made, I was really moved. And so I am so glad not to have to yell and scream and jump on top of the table. So I thank you all for this being a very calming, peaceful time for me. And so God bless y'all with everything you're doing. I want every Black person to be working. Every person who wants a job needs a job. Black, white, blue, or purple. And I think that establishing this pathway is one of the things that I think that we have to understand in this city. That when you lift up Black people, you lift up all people. It's not a competition.
Any further discussion? All right, Commissioner Mack, can you restate the motion and then I'll take a vote?
So the motion on the table is to recommend that the city meet and confer with the labor partners and organizations regarding all of the 6 recommendations from the Black Worker Center.
Commissioner Andrades?
Yes.
Commissioner Field is absent. Commissioner Fuentes?
Yes.
Commissioner Levine?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Commissioner Mack?
Yes.
Commissioner Mesa votes yes. Commissioner Murray?
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez?
Yes.
Commissioner Stein?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Yap is absent. Commissioner Morrison?
Yes.
Motion passes. Before we depart, we need to do ex parte communications. Commissioner Morrison, this is just if we've had any ex parte discussion since we started the meeting.
No.
Commissioner Fuentes,
No.
Commissioner Mack,
No.
Commissioner Lewis,
No.
Commissioner Stein,
No.
Commissioner Mesa has none, Commissioner Sanchez,
No.
Commissioner Murray,
No.
Commissioner Andrades,
No.
Commissioner Levine,
No.
Commissioner Thomas.
No.
Thank you, Commissioners. Can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
Oh, before we adjourn,
Yes.
can I ask if it's possible to add something to a future agenda?
You move forward as a motion?
Sure, I would like to motion to include on a future agenda a discussion related to periodic charter review, and specifically the creation of a standing committee with limited purview of governance reform. Yes, yeah, that's more than enough information.
Is there a second?
Yes.
We'll take a vote in a second. I'll just say, Commissioners, I want everyone to be very disciplined about the things that we add to the agenda, considering the tight timeline that we have. Next Tuesday's meeting, we'll be talking a little bit more about the timeline, but I think you all know that we have to transmit our final report to council by April 2nd, which needs to be completed by April 2nd. So I'm hesitant to add more to the agenda, but it will be the will of the commission. So let's take a vote. Commissioner Murray, yeah.
Can I understand?
Morrison, I'm sorry.
What this is?
Yes, so this was a recommendation that was given to us by both the RewriteLA in partnership with the League of Women Voters. I had previously discussed the possibility of adding this to an agenda, but unfortunately at that meeting, it was a long meeting, so it wasn't added to the agenda at the end of that meeting, and this is the one that I am now at. So this would specifically be a standing commission that has limited purview as directed by the governor or by the mayor and city council on specific charter review. So we had already made a motion on charter reform that would happen every 10 years. But what we've seen with a lot of the different instances that have required off-cycle charter review, the council typically establishes an ad hoc commission or it's citizens-driven. This would just be another mechanism with very strict requirements that would allow the council, instead of creating an ad hoc commission that would take the time of their members, to refer items of potential charter review to a limited selection of commissioners for future updates. So really small items that, let's say, the mayor wanted to take up or the council wanted to take up, but they didn't think was valuable for time on their committee schedule.
And that would be within the 10-year period?
It would be within the 10-year period, and it would be a much smaller scope than this commission, smaller staff and smaller size.
And it would have to go to the voters?
Correct. It would still have to go to the council and the voters, yes. And they would have no ex parte disclosures because they would be required to only operate within the purview that was assigned to them by elected officials.
I'm new to this. It's just hard to imagine that we would need to do that within 10 years. It's been since 1999 that we've done this charter review. So I don't know how much is involved in trying to add that to the plate of the commission at this moment, but
I would also add that I think the two avenues that currently exist, which is for council to do it themselves and then for them to create a process and a citizens initiative, are ample, considering that we're putting in a 10-year charter review recommendation. And so my opinion is I don't believe that we need this additional avenue. All right, the motion is to add this to a future agenda. So I'll call the vote. Commissioner Andrades.
Yes.
Commissioner Field is absent. Commissioner Fuentes.
Yes.
Commissioner Levine.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis.
Yes.
Commissioner Mack.
Yes.
Commissioner Mesa votes no. Commissioner Murray.
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez.
Yes.
Commissioner Stein.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Yap is absent. Commissioner Morrison.
No.
Motion passes. All right, may I get a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any objection? Seeing none, we are adjourned. Have a good evening.